Reiterate a basic comment before I get underway officially is that I was very impressed as I approached the area here to see so many of you come out. I know Pennsylvanians to be very patriotic, and I will get into my remarks here about that a bit, but it is truly, truly an honor to be here in front of all of you today. Well, today's event bridges time. In my youth, I was caught up in the fervent ardor of American independence. How I would contribute, however, was not with the chance of the ultimate sacrifice that battle brings. Having served in my father's militia, I never saw battle action until our second invasion by the British during our recent war. Philadelphia has been in many ways a second home to me. The events I had the privilege of being a part of and a privy to must ring in the hearts of American citizens forever. Philadelphia is the birthplace of our American independence. From its founding in the 17th century based on the principles of a religious toleration brought here by William Penn, to the Declaration of Independence, to the Continental Congress, to the Confederation Congress, to the Delegates Convention, and finally to the seat of our national government. Philadelphia has been a beacon for the world to see. It is here that the revolutionary road to Republican independence in our government that we now enjoy happened. It is the remains of the soldiers contained in these graves that we honor today as a testament to the cause the everyman was inspired to rise to with such crystal clarity, many motivated by the words in a pamphlet written by a gentleman by the name of Thomas Paine. Perhaps some of you remember his stirring words. It was called The Crisis, and I think it might be an opportune time to state it again here. If any of you remember the words, I welcome you to say them along with me. These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and sunshine patriot will, in the crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. Although it may be a bit frigid outside here today, my heart swells with the warm satisfaction that soldiers who fought in the War of 1812 under my administration took it upon themselves to honor these fallen heroes of our American Revolution. If you could indulge me just a few more minutes, I would be honored to share with you the story behind today's gathering. In the damp early morning mist in the Great Valley on September the 21st, a Willistown farmer named Joseph Cox cautiously made his way across rain-soaked meadows and through dank woods to his neighbor's farm. In the fields of Ezekiel Bowen and Cromwell Pierce, the site of the Paoli camp, crimson streaks stained the soil around the still, cold figures of what remained of the dead. The broken fences, the mutilated corpses, the haze and stains and smells of death mark the scene of battle and places of massacre. The 52 brave fellows who were buried next day in the field of battle were gathered in a central location on the Bowen-Pierce property line, the scene of some of the fiercest fighting, and interred in a trench about 12 by 60 feet. The soldiers were placed in 2 rows of 26, and the burial was done with great care. On July the 4th, 1817, another generation of veterans who had clashed with the old foe during the War of 1812 met and resolved to take responsibility for a neglected gravesite in Chester County. by the Pierce family farm, the boyhood home of Colonel Cromwell Pierce, the heroic commander in the War of 1812, and other distinguished comrade-in-arms, Major Isaac Bernard, and Congressman and militia surgeon William Darlington. For they wanted to dedicate the memorial on September 20th, the 40th anniversary of the battle. They consulted with local Revolutionary War veterans to get their views on how the grave should be marked. The veterans approved the placing of a marble monument similar to the monument over Anthony Wayne's remains at St. David's Church. Major Barnard located a simple classical monument of white marble consisting of a pyramid mounted on a pedestal resting on a plinth of Pennsylvania blue marble. The monument was finished under the direction of the celebrated William Strickland, the prominent and Greek revival architect of Philadelphia. A group effort was required, so the Republican artillerists pitched in and finished a stone and lime wall enclosure, 65 feet long, 20 feet wide, and about 4 feet high, with a gate in the middle on the western wall. The dedication ceremonies were held on September 20th, 18 and 17, at 10 a.m. at Paoli Tavern. The Republican artillerists mustered over 400 soldiers from several local militia regiments. Revolutionary veterans marched in the procession, a solemn military procession, and headed over the Lancaster Turnpike, past the site of Picket 1, and down the hill to where Randolph's Picket 4 had received the first shock of battle and where the first blood had been shed. They proceeded past the blacksmith shop, Warren Tavern, to Sugartown Road, up the long hill, turned left near the spot where a disabled cannon had blocked Wayne's escape route, and marched on to the gravesite. The local press said there was a great crowd. The very trees were animated by the adventurous boys who had ascended them to witness the ceremonies. The old were there, telling the young the tales of their times. The guests of honor included Isaac Wayne, the general's son, and the 82-year-old Reverend David Jones, a former chaplain of Wayne's 1st Pennsylvania Brigade. Major Isaac Barnard delivered the formal address and gave a brief but animated account of the battle itself, and condemned, and I quote, the indiscriminate and dreadful carnage which will forever stain the character of the British arms and consign to eternal infamy the name of Gray and his midnight assassins. Then Major Barnard reminded his listeners that these men who fell far from their homes and their friends were deposited in one common grave in this retired and sequestered spot, and here we raise this monument as a standing record of our gratitude for their service and respect for their memories, to honor those who have nobly fallen to obtain the liberty and blessings which we now enjoy. The pedestal was inscribed on all four sides with words composed by Dr. William Darlington. The front inscription on the west side reads, and I quote, "Sacred to the memory of the patriots who fell on this spot, fell a sacrifice to British barbarity during the struggle for American independence on the night of the 20th of September, 1777. Their sacrifice was not in vain. The willingness to die for a country implies that the country stands for symbols indelible in the hearts and minds of the people. We, the people, as the United States Constitution says. It is these contemplations that will sweeten the remnants of my days and animate my prayers for the happiness of my beloved country and a perpetuity of the institutions under which it is enjoyed. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me and us today in this honorable day of remembrance.